Hey y'all, we are back in the garden today to get ready to harvest. I haven't been harvesting too much the past couple of days because prior to that, we harvested at least 30 to 40 pounds of tomatoes, which is pretty hefty at this time of the summer. So I have been processing them inside, and that has taken me away from getting work done in the garden. So today I am going to do a big harvest, and tomatoes are really at their peak right now, so I'm anticipating maybe another 30 or 40 pounds harvested today, but we will see. Let's go. I'm going to go ahead and get started harvesting my tomatoes. Right here we have some mortgage lifters, which hold up to their name because so far the largest tomato I've harvested this year has been a mortgage lifter, and it's been 1.5 pounds. I want to get the tomatoes out of the garden because, as you can see, some of these plants are starting to die back. It looks like we got hit pretty good with blight or septoria leaf spot, and that's the browning and the yellowing of the leaves on majority of my tomato plants. It has been rather wet, so it was expected, but at least the tomatoes still look good. Okay. Not bad, right? I have my garden hod here. We're a fan of Burpee, and I really like this hod. I also brought a few other bowls because I suspect that it will not be enough. We're going to keep on with the mortgage lifters and see how many can fit in this hod. As you can see, I'm not perfect and I have quite a bit of weeds in my garden. That's actually a marigold. Yeah. Get in there. Like I have been the past couple of weeks or so. All I want to do is process them as soon as possible, because you certainly don't want to pick them and let them go to waste in your kitchen. That would be no good. That one's blushing. We'll leave it. Ooh, that one looks good. And you can see it's already starting to fall right off the vine. So that's going to be an easy one. At least I thought. Ooh, there we go. Not bad. So starting to split because they're just getting so big on the vine. And again, with a lot of the rain, they just grow too fast. Jeez. That's a goofy looking one. Looks like I'll have to cut quite a bit of it. I like to think of these as like little stretch marks for the tomatoes, just because they keep growing too fast. Funny looking one, huh? Dylan will still eat it. Alright, yeah, that's a good one. Go. Perfect. I feel like I might be in over my head a little bit. This is after 5 plants, 5 tomato mortgage lifter plants, and as you can see, the hod is already full. I feel like I'm quite literally in a tomato jungle, but there's plenty of tomatoes that still need to be picked, so I think I might have to bring out a few more bowls. It's a good problem to have. These mortgage lifters just don't quit. Still have so many. I believe this might be the last plant. It's got some really nice ones. Perfect. Those are all the mortgage lifters and an extra I found that still needs to ripen on the ground. Not bad. This is a Gladiator variety of tomatoes, and they're just about a good, another good sauce tomato. They're bigger than Romas and San Marzanos. Some of them are more orange, but I think I'm going to pick them just because I can see some of them developing some spots. This is a hillbilly. It's supposed to be orange, red, yellow, striped, which it looks to be. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it. Another new variety I'm trying, I believe these are called mangoes. So I'm going to guess that they're ready based on their mango-like color. Very pretty. Those look great. Oops. Can't let that one get away. That's a good one. Even if they're a darker orange, I still like to leave them on the vine to give them a couple more days to ripen. Whether they ripen on the vine, probably better than ripening on my counter, save space. Because when you have so many tomatoes, you can only process them so quickly. Here are some Romas. So I'm going to start picking. Nice. The ones you see here were subject to bottom end rot, which is why they're rotten. You might not have the best looking plants, but they still produce. There's no shame in that. Not all gardens are perfect. Not all gardens are big, but that doesn't mean they can't be plentiful. It's a nice one. Look at those Cherokee purples waiting. They're begging to be picked. Oh yeah, those look good. A lot of these sauce tomatoes are still orange, so I think I might wait to pick them. See, that's a nice orange. Not quite ready. This one feels ready. Wow, it's a big one. That's a good looking San Marzano. I really thought those 3 containers would have lasted me for today's harvest. However, as you can see, they only made it through most of my tomatoes. These are like the sauce, the beefsteak tomatoes, the big ones, right? Mortgage lifters, gladiators, Romas, San Marzanos. I still have to pick the cherry and grape tomato varieties. I still have some squash I have to pick, some onions. I wanted to trim some herbs today. So far I am impressed that my 3 containers that I thought would last me are already full. So I have to go and get some more. The cherry and grape varieties are next. You can see some pretty good ones. I already have a bowl full in the fridge from, like I said, mentioned before, the previous day's harvest. So it'll be interesting to see how many bowls of tomatoes I can fit in my fridge and how many Dylan can eat before I have to freeze them. Nice. Perfect handful. These are sun golds, so you want to harvest them when they're nice golden orange. If you grow sun golds, I would recommend labeling them and planting them amongst themselves, because what I've learned is that if I don't know what they are, I think these are unripe when this variety is ready to eat. And then when that happens, I leave them on here, and as you can see, they rot and go to waste. And personally, I cannot stand food waste. So next year's project, when I plant my sun golds, I will absolutely remember to label them so I know that these plants, when they look like this nice orange, they are ready to be picked. I can only fit so many in my hand. I feel like I'm going to be out here a while trying to fit all these tomatoes in my hand. Tomato plant. This is actually one of Dylan's favorite varieties this summer. He says these sun golds are very sweet, much sweeter than your typical tomato. So I'm assuming if it's sweeter, that means it's less acidic. If it's less acidic, you might need to add citric acid, vinegar, or lemon juice if you plan on saucing and canning less acidic tomatoes. The past couple of years, Dylan and I have been canning tomatoes. I like to add a couple teaspoons of vinegar to the sauce right after it's cooked, right when we put it in the jar, just to add more acidity to it. And hopefully that will discourage any bacteria growth while it's in the jar or during the process, really. Doesn't that variation just look so pretty? Oranges, yellows, greens. That is a good looking tomato vine. Oops. Didn't mean to get that one. Look at that perfect bundle. Wow. These must be my traditional cherries because they are much more red compared to the sun golds. Perfect. This is a new variety we're trying called green tebra, or maybe it's zebra. Not quite sure, but when they're ripe, they're this nice yellow color with green stripes. Dylan has tried them and says they taste just like any other tomato. This is an orange plum, another variety that we're trying. So I'm assuming it should be ready. Feels a little soft and squishy, so I think it should be good. That concludes the tomato harvest for today. Now I am on to squash, peppers, onions, and some herbs. This is the last of my zucchini. So after I pick this one zucchini, I think this plant is done. However, I've never seen a zucchini look like this. It feels like the skin has gotten hard. So if I skin it, I think it should still be good. I have a couple spaghetti squash that I think are ready. They're this nice golden yellow color. If I dig my fingernail in, I don't really see an indent. Let's see, can we get closer? They say if you dig your fingernail in, try to make a mark, and it doesn't give, then it's ready. And it just barely made a mark. Another indicator is if you look at the vine, if it's brown, dry, dead, then it should be ripe. Not bad. These are the last of my onions. These ones are particularly green onions that I think I let get too big. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yep, there we go. It looks good. You can tell when an onion is ready, when the stalk has dried out and fallen over. Probably the smallest onion, but there's a few others that are ready. Again, if you're wondering how to tell your onion is ripe, it will be sticking out of the ground like this. The stalk will be fallen over, bent, dried. You just give it a little tug. Not the most impressive onion harvest I've had, but nonetheless, onions. Y'all, we are in the home stretch. It is hot out here, but I still have a lot of basil I'd like to trim. When harvesting basil, these flowers indicate that it is going to seed soon and it will stop producing the leaves, which is the desired edible part of the plant. So you can either just pinch off the flowers and the plant will continue to grow, or in this case, because I just have so much of it, I am just going to cut at the base, just like I did this one here. And then it will grow offshoots off to the side. Last on the list are beans and my peppers. Let's tackle the beans first. These bush beans have fallen over. I think it's the end of their life cycle here. My dog Fig actually loves green beans. So when she's in the garden with me, I give her one. Here's some pretty good pole beans. Wow. They look really good. I think that's all the beans I'll get today, so I'm moving on to the peppers. Now these were labeled as jalapenos, but as you can see, they are not. I believe these are Hungarian hot wax, or a type of banana plant, a banana pepper rather. Here are some banana peppers that you can see are overripe when they start to turn orange, red. The earliest stage you can pick a banana pepper is when they're this nice pale yellow color. And then any other shade of orange or red after that, it's still okay to pick and eat. I made it through our largest garden harvest of this season. It took me a lot longer than I was anticipating, but I did get a lot more than I was expecting. We got some nice big tomatoes here. I'm hoping that could be a pound or so. I hope your garden is looking good. We are ending out the summer here fairly soon. It's middle of August, so I'm not sure if I will get another big tomato harvest like this, but later in the season, we will have corn, we'll have potatoes, we have a lot of celery. So right now we're going to enjoy our tomato harvest, process it in the kitchen for sauce, for salsas, and Dylan's favorite tomato plates. So I hope you keep following along, and it's so great to have you guys. I hope your garden's doing just as good as ours is, and happy gardening.